3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Roadshows Stuff. I'm your host, Doug McLean. I'm here with Frank Mancina, Director of Partnerships Canada.
How you doing, Doug?
Pretty well. It's amazing that you and I, through technology, being thousands of miles away, you being in Canada, me being in the U.S., can still communicate like this.
This is great. Even though we're in the same building.
We are in the same building. It's not, Frank, we don't want to share all of our technical secrets.
Great secrets here
with our listeners. We got a pretty exciting episode today, and it's because this isn't as technical as our episodes usually are. This is more of we're kind of culling from our personal experience, having worked here for as many years as we have. We're talking about. What are we talking about, Frank?
We're talking about tour operators.
Yes.
What makes a good tour operator?
Yes.
Doug, what is a tour operator?
Let me look it up really quickly. These are basically our drivers, also called field operators. That's basically all they're called.
Drivers, tour operators. Yeah.
I guess there's a bunch of names, but I don't know. Today we're going to talk about the responsibilities that they have, what they have to do on a day-to-day basis, how we find them as employees.
Yeah.
And what we look for a tour operator. So let's start off with, I've got some notes here, Frank. I took some notes today. I know you don't like to prepare or be organized, but I do. So responsibilities, let's talk about responsibilities, what these drivers are doing for these programs. So we launch a program, typically nationwide, North American, whatever, every week. Usually, again, they're in a different city, multiple stops sometimes within each city or within each region. And then they more or less pack up and then go to the next city or the next region. Right. So they are responsible for obviously driving the exhibit. So Frank, let's use this as an example so it'll be easier to help visualize a tour. Like, I don't know, name one. On the spot, here we go.
Ortho.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so ortho clinical diagnostics, right? That's a healthcare tour. So different hospitals, different medical facilities every week. What happens? Well, it's more or less a mobile showroom. So that pulls into a parking lot night before the event or the morning of the event. And the driver then does what? Let's start off with
the driver will I think before the driver pulls in, he obviously needs to know where he's going. So he gets this information from the account team. Yeah. And even before that, the driver actually just vets it himself, via, his computer or his laptop or, his phone. And then the driver, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying they have the address, they have the location, typically weeks beforehand, and a site contact as well, who's expecting their arrival.
Exactly. So they'll arrive, they'll set up the trailer, the exterior, the interior. And then for this particular tour, they would wait for the company's contact, the sales team to come in and
representatives, whoever's working the event.
And then that's it. They're kind of behind the scenes, right? So a lot of the times when we're looking for drivers, that's kind of one of the hooks that we have. It's like, you're not driving 90% of the time, right? You're actually driving 10% of the time, and then 90% of the time you're either working an event or you're kind of behind the scenes and you're kind of making sure that everything is set up properly, the generator's running, so just kind of behind the scenes kind of thing.
You're making sure like the showroom itself, the interior of the trailer is up to temperature. So if it's a particularly cold day, particularly hot day, and that's what you said when you start the generator, you're opening up the walls. If they're expandable walls, you're opening those up. You're setting up steps, railings, skirting around the exterior, any exterior elements or components that happen to be part of the program, tables, chairs, umbrellas, stanchions, things like that. And then you're going through the interior. You're organizing and arranging furniture, interactive displays, things that are usually stored along the center line of the interior. You're firing up all the technology and making sure that everything's running properly. So when that client representative that you were referring to does show up for the day, everything's ready to rock and they're ready to accept customers. And then from there on out during the day, it's understood that they're to be made available, or they are
Exactly.
available. If there is an issue with technology, something's wrong with the generator, the lighting, any of the displays, they are on call.
Yeah,
so that they then can address that situation.
And plus, a lot of the times our drivers will either start, during this particular type of tour during this time, the B2B types of tours, they would be, booking their hotels. They would be scheduling in any sort of maintenance that they may need to have, or say something is, obviously we do have an internal maintenance team that helps with that, but a lot of our drivers like to get this done on their own, right? So so that those are some of the times that the teams would, schedule all this stuff, or go out and grab anything, or get some laundry done, or a lot of the times we often say we need to be within a phone call away from an event, right? So we're always kind of on call, or the drivers are always on call, but for the most part they utilize that time for other duties that may not be able to get done.
Sure. There's a lot. I mean, they're living their own lives out there too, and that brings up a good point. The generators more often than not run off the internal tanks of the truck that they're driving. So they have to make sure they're fully fueled. Logistics are obviously incredibly important. So you have to space the number of events you have per week to allow for the appropriate amount of drive time. Any maintenance, preventative or otherwise, that has to take place between those events has to be addressed. And like you said, simple like day-to-day activities like doing laundry, booking hotels for future sites. And, these drivers usually have their schedules about, we usually mandate 2 weeks out. So they know where they're going, 2 weeks ahead of time, more often than not, more, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks out, which is hugely beneficial. So they can book that far in advance if they need to arrange for ground transportation. Or let's say there's a trim piece on the interior that they themselves can't fix, even though we do like to hire people that, can troubleshoot and are handy people. We can call ahead to a city that we know they'll be in a week or two, call a specialty shop that can address the issue on a day off, and have those things taken care of kind of behind the scenes, if you will. So there are a ton of responsibilities. And I should also mention the fact that sometimes these people are the liaison of our company, MRA,
100%.
to our clients, client facing. Sometimes one of the only representatives they see through the normal course of a business year is our driver or our field operator.
Massive responsibility.
Not to mention the potentially multi-million-dollar vehicle that they're piloting.
That's true.
And have to park and arrange for parking.
No, I agree.
So Frank, aside from day-to-day responsibilities or week-to-week responsibilities, how do we find these people? Who are they and where do they come from?
So
let's talk about that.
The cool part, I guess, about road shows and the mobile experiential marketing industry is that it's really small, right? So you have a very tight-knit group of workers, of drivers, especially, and they network with each other, right? So a lot of the times we get some referrals. We've done, the traditional, online job boards. And then even on the road, like people will see a cool trailer driving down the road, or you see us parked at an event, and next thing you know it, someone's asking one of the drivers or one of our staff, who are you and what do you do and how do I do this?
What do you do for a living?
Right. So that's the cool part about,
I don't get that often when I'm putting gas in my car. Usually I'm ignored. I would like people to approach me, but it doesn't happen as often as I'd like.
So I guess it's
a lot of referral, word of mouth.
Yeah, a lot of referral, word of mouth. Obviously we're going to do the online, Indeed and LinkedIn. Wherever the job boards are.
And who are we looking for? What types of people? Like what type of experience, personality?
So we're not going to just put someone out there who just got their license, right? So like you mentioned,
CDLA last week.
So there a lot of our trailers have a lot of technology in there. We someone with at least 3 years experience, high mileage, ideally,
because it's a completely new mindset. A lot of times people are used to, they have a dedicated route, they're running a dedicated load from I always say, like, from Bangor to Miami, every week you do that run back and forth, same load. There's no interaction with other people. You don't have to be a people person. You don't necessarily have to have a mechanical aptitude, or have mechanical aptitude that you can repair things on the go, on the fly.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, technology is incredibly important. So somebody goes to fire up an interactive display and it's not firing up, or it's not going through its proper sequence through its software. What do you do?
Yeah.
We don't necessarily like people that just pick up the phone and call the home office. We would like for them to have at least attempted a repair, right?
No, I agree. So I think that's why, you made a good point about, having that one route kind of thing. And I think that's why we get a lot of like husband and wives teams that, have had these routes in the past, and now want to kind of see, the US or Canada and want to, not necessarily drive all the time. Right. So those are the types of folks that, we love, because we know that they're experienced, they have a ton of experience. We know that they're problem solvers, because being on the road for that long and being in the industry, you kind of have to learn to be a problem solver. And being independent, right? People have to be independent, because there's, to your point earlier, you're that main point of contact to the client. And we don't necessarily, we're running multiple different tours, right? So it's challenging when you have 100 calls coming towards you, and something happens.
You have to. It's definitely a unique individual that can balance sort of the truck driving world and what that entails, and then at the same time kind of be like a PR rep for our company for whatever product they're promoting. It's difficult to find that balance. People that enjoy driving, people that have done, a lot of our drivers have 1 million+ mile drivers with perfect driving records. No violations, either at state scales or otherwise, for speeding or moving violations. And yet they're people persons, right? They're people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can literally hand a program over to them, check with them once a day, twice a day, make sure everything's going well, and they're running the show,
And it's, and I think we're lucky. We have we have a ton of great drivers.
Oh my God.
We've worked with a ton.
And
I've been a part of, setups where I didn't think, we could even get in a place, let alone, set up. I remember I was in New Jersey. So New Jersey in itself is not the easiest place to drive around.
No.
And we went to this parking lot that was just kind of on an angle, and the challenge, obviously, being an AE too, is knowing
account executive,
knowing the slope of a particular location, right? So
the
initial AE didn't kind of factor in the slope. So here we are. I didn't think you'd be able to park on this one kind of flat area, but we got the boards underneath underneath the tires and kind of hiked it up. But
you level it out.
But those are the little things that we sometimes we take for granted with
we always go where normal trucks do not go. So you need that skill set as well, which is crazy. And people all the time, I shouldn't say all the time, but they occasionally miss like low hanging like telephone wires, or like an easement that's incredibly steep. So you're going from ground level to a really high angle that could easily bottom out our trailers, because we have belly boxes and we run low to the ground. But they make it work. I've got some amazing stories, without naming names, like getting into surface parking lots with swing arms and having about an inch of clearance on each side of the trailer, and having to swing in to that aperture, that opening. I mean, I've seen these guys and gals are miracle workers. I mean, truly, because that is what we do. We go to places where trucks normally don't go to do these events. So to have that skill set of being tech savvy, being a problem solver, having the mechanical wherewithal to make repairs on the go, being able to handle clients face to face when the home office may be 1,000 miles away. Let's say, they're complaining about something. The air conditioning isn't cold enough. What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
And they, they have the people skills to deal with that situation. And that's why, yeah, they are worth their weight in gold, and they are truly the foundation of the company. I mean, that terms like that are thrown around a lot, but they really, truly are. They're a tremendous asset in everything they do. And I remember some of your drivers in the past have had very few complaints. Usually their account executive in the office is one of their biggest
pet peeves.
Yeah. So we were able to work through those things. So yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah, that's a lot. So we find drivers with a lot of experience through word of mouth, have to have people skills.
And I do want to mention though, that
Doug.
Is it Doug? Yeah.
Yes.
Doug Liano. No, but a lot of our drivers don't, sleep in the sleeper berth too. I think that's a big thing that I think we missed on, because, having someone that comes into the industry new, and who's had tons of experience driving, knowing those types of long haul schedules, you're
paid by the mile. You want to utilize that time behind the wheel.
Whereas obviously with a mobile marketing roadshow, we pay for the hotels.
Yeah.
So.
And as a customer service rep who's basically live, you want to be well rested.
Exactly.
Clean clothes, occasionally bathing. Note to some of our drivers, not kidding. No issues. Yeah, it's just hearing ourselves talk about all of these requirements and all these personality traits that we look for. To be honest with you, I'm amazed we have as many as we do who are as good as they are.
Yeah.
But not all of them are the same. We shouldn't say that either, right? We have some more, I don't want to use the term introverted, but we have some drivers who are not as personable as others, and they still do an amazingly good job because of their unique skill set and their unique tour. And oftentimes we try and place a driver who's best suited, or a drive team, to the program that we think we'd be best suited for.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. So tour operators. Frank, what if some of our listeners are interested in hooking up with MRA here?
Yeah. So you can go to our website, www.gomra.com. There's a careers section in the contact us area.
That's right.
But yeah, there's multiple different ways to reach out to us, obviously on our Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter accounts.
Yes.
And you can obviously reach out to both of us anytime you like. But
Frank, that's fantastic. I think we've covered most of the bases. But before we wrap up episode 3, season 2, I think we have a quick stuff section.
Do we?
All right. I think we do.
Okay, Doug.
So not brand.
Okay.
But what is your favorite kind of donut and why? Think deep. It could be a variation, and just don't make, Frank, come on.
What do you mean?
You got to make it exciting. Like, what do you really like? I mean, is it plain glazed?
No.
Like chocolate dipped?
Come on, man. Okay, obviously I'm Canadian, director of Canadian Partnerships Canada.
Yeah. Legally.
No. So my favorite donut is the apple fritter. Okay.
Oh my God, no. Yeah.
So this is my thing with the apple fritter. So
but you can't name a brand. It's got to be universal. So apple fritter is
apple fritter.
Though.
It is very universal. I've had multiple different. But this particular donut shop in Canada had some excellent apple fritters. Yeah. And I would get a coffee with it.
Okay.
And I would dunk the apple fritter in the coffee, and it was
taking it to the next level. But Frank, define why an apple fritter. What about the apple fritter?
Because it had little chunks of apple in it.
Yes.
It had
what you think is apple.
Apple. It also had the cinnamon, and it had a glaze on it. It had the glaze on it. So I do like the normal glaze donut. So it was just that to another level.
Density is important too, right? If it's like a heavier glazed, like I don't like light, fluffy interiors of my donuts, right? I like the consistency to be a little dense, a little heavy.
Yeah.
And if the glaze is heavy with cinnamon, the sugar mixed in with the apples, it's a home run.
It is a home run.
It is a home run.
So it's definitely, it's still one of my favorites.
That's powerful. I would go with that, or I like cinnamon rolls. But
Oh,
the problem with cinnamon rolls is some of them can be dry. So I need like a
yes.
Cinnabon type cinnamon roll that has like density, like
Yeah.
chewy density throughout the interior. It can't be dry or flaky. It can be flaky, but it has to be like a solid flaky, you know?
See, for me, like cinnamon's just too much. Like it's too there's like
Well, the
layer
level
after
of the
layer
cinnamon's
after layer.
important. It is. I mean, it's rolled. It's like a
Yeah.
serpent. Yes.
But I like the mini ones are great.
Oh yeah, minis
I
are
could
good because
throw
you can
down
pop them
about
in one
5.
at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, our producer is signaling that we're out of time, Frank.
Oh.
So I think we got to wrap it up. Another great episode.
It is a big thank you to all our viewers.
We're trending where again? We just got notification this morning.
I believe it's Southeast Asia.
We already were trending there. No, it's far eastern Russia. We've gotten a spike. So we do they just got Wi-Fi. So with that being said, Frank, what are we talking about next week?
Next week or next time, what we're talking about a day in the life of an account executive. So
that's the internal person who kind of oversees the day-to-day activities.
That's right.
Of the tour.
And both myself and Doug have been account executives for
Doug
many years.
is me. Okay.
That is you. That is you.
Excellent. All right. Well, with that being said, thank you, Frank. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate it. And we will talk to you next time. Everyone.
Bye.